Hello everyone, and welcome to Torch and Key Divine Messages. I am Morgan, your Divine Messenger, and today I'm going to be talking about the importance of balancing physical work with spiritual work. So the reason I wanted to talk with you about this subject today is, one, because Spirit told me to, but two, I understood why they told me to, because it has been a specific lesson that I have been learning for pretty much my entire spiritual experience is balancing physical and spiritual work. I have mentioned this before, but I came into the spiritual world from a very not spiritual place. Like, I know a lot of people who have come from different religions, or maybe they were always knew that they were intuitive or that there was something there. I had hoped that there was something there, but I was definitely at this point leaning into pretty much atheism, where there was just like, that's it, that's all there is. By the time that my guides were like, stop that. No. But when it came to trying to figure out what I was supposed to be doing to manifest things, it was really difficult, because in the beginning, I obviously came from, okay, I have to do all of it physically, because I don't even know what spirit will do for me. But then when I started to think, oh, okay, so I just light this candle and it shows up, so then I was only doing the spiritual side and basically none of the physical. It just, kept flip-flopping and like being unbalanced. And I kind of noticed in the spiritual community that both of those imbalances are discussed quite a lot, but not from the sense of wanting to fix the imbalance, almost of strengthening it. So there's a lot of discussion of strengthening the spiritual part of the imbalance, mainly, where it's kind of like, just keep meditating, keep raising your vibrations. Did you manifest? Did you work with the astrological energies? Did you make a spell? Did you do that ceremony? And then there's the other side of things where I guess a lot of people who maybe not in the spiritual world, maybe just in the general world and in society, who are like, you're never gonna get it unless you hustle, and you're never gonna get it unless you work and you suffer and you bleed. And I'm here to tell you that both of those things are incorrect. So you shouldn't be giving all of it to spirit, and you shouldn't be giving all of it to yourself. The reason that the universe co-creates with you is because there is a collaboration of the two of you. So you do what is humanly possible, and they do what is universally, spiritually possible. But you can't have one without the other. And I sort of talk about this in my second intention setting video that's all about matching your words to your energy. Well, I also believe you need to match your physical actions to your intentions. So if you are setting intention for something, but you just lean back on the couch and do nothing about it, then yeah, no, it's probably not going to show up. That's plain and simple. If you want to be famous, but you never post anything online, how is anyone supposed to find you if you never leave your house and you never post anything online and no one ever sees your face or your words or your story? If you want to be in a 9-to-5 office job, you have to apply for jobs that are 9 to 5 in an office. And maybe spirit will help in the sense that they will guide you to the right places to apply. But don't let that stop you either, because if it's meant to be, it will be. So if you apply to 10 places, but you're not sure 7 of them are correct, it's because you're not going to be working at all 10 places, right? You're going to be working at the one that you wanted. It's the same with relationships with people. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because if you were meant to learn a certain lesson, you will. And if you are meant to be with somebody, you will. I think that one's kind of a harder one with people. I might have to do a separate video about that one. But when it comes to the actual hard work that goes towards trying to get something done, I think a lot of people misconstrue the words hard work for suffering. And that's not the case at all. It's not what the universe wants for you. They're trying to get you that Ace of Cups from the tarot, which is just your cup overflowing. They're trying to get you that passion from the Ace of Wands. They want you to start on this new adventure, and they want you to make it work. But in the tarot, there is also the Pentacles, and the Pentacles is the earthly realm. So you can't have magic without the earth. You can't have manifestation without physical reality. Well, I mean, maybe you can if you are like completely a different dimensional being, but we're not. We do have physical bodies, and we have to take care of them, and we have to take care of our homes, and we have to take care of the tasks required of the human experience. Yes, we are souls having a human experience, but it is a human experience. It's not a soul experience. I mean, it is, but it's not. I'm not a soul on the outside too. And so these are our conduits to these lessons and these blessings that we're supposed to be experiencing. So not only do we have to treat them right, but we also have to utilize them and not ignore them. So I want you to do something for me. I want you to make a list, and it's going to be two-sided. There's going to be a list of all of the physical things that you are doing to make sure that your manifestation comes true. And on the other list, it's going to be all the spiritual things that you're doing. I want you to see which one outweighs the other. And I want you to include everything. Like, if you are getting up every day at 5 a.m. to go for a walk to further your physical health, write that down on physical. If it is also to get in touch with nature and to see the animals and have that kind of spiritual connection, put that on the spiritual side too. It's okay to be doing something that hits two birds with one stone. If anything, that's the best way to do it. Which I will actually be making a video on how to more easily integrate spirituality and intention and intuition into physical lifestyles. Because that's honestly my favorite kind of magic. But my Venus is in Taurus in the 6th house. So my Venus, my values, the things that I love, is in Taurus, an earth sign that loves sensuality. They love their senses. They love to have pleasure. And in my 6th house, which is basically the earthly realm. So I like to say that a lot of my magic does have to do with the earthly realm. And I feel like that is something that some witches understand, because obviously we work with the earth, so we understand the importance of herbs and animals and just kind of like working with nature and weather and things like that. But I feel like maybe if you're not from a witch background, or you're not that kind of witch, you might forget a lot about the physical aspects of it. But specifically with Saturn being in Capricorn right now, especially retrograde, I feel like it's a reminder of, hey, what have you physically not yet accomplished to accomplish your biggest dreams? Like I said, have you applied to be the job that you want? Have you sent out the text message to that guy you like, asking him on a date? Have you, like there's just so many things that only we can do. And yes, Empress mode, where you lean back and you let things come to you, that divine feminine, is very important, and a lot of people are learning it right now. But not everybody's learning that lesson, because some of us already know about the divine feminine, about which I believe really comes down to trusting your worthiness and your value, and that the universe will provide for you. But there was work involved to get to Empress mode. And if you haven't done that work yet and it's not in balance, I feel like it kind of cancels out the Empress mode a little bit. But also, I mean, that's going to come up to who you are as a person, whether or not you believe you're the kind of person who puts in a ton of physical work, or if you're the kind of person who puts in a ton of spiritual work, or if you're the kind of person who says, hey universe, this is what I want, and then does nothing, like at all. Or if someone who does so much, both physical and spiritual work, and the guides are like, hey, whoa, you can like sit back and eat Cheetos if you want, like you've done a lot. Like, maybe not Cheetos, maybe Cheetos, I don't know, that's up to you. It really also depends on your chart. You might have placements that you need to balance. So if you are very heavy with the earth energy, which would be that physical side of the manifestation, then maybe you are the kind of person who you need your balance to be 75% spiritual, because you yourself are already so much of that earth energy. And sorry if you can hear something passing. They're picking up the trash cans. And vice versa, like if you're like a Pisces or a Scorpio, you might be needing more of the physical aspects. It really depends on your chart though, because I wouldn't just look at your sun sign. For instance, I'm a Gemini, which is an air sign, but I actually have way more earth element in my chart than I do air, fire, or water. So it's not like don't just look at your sun sign, look at your whole chart. Go to an astrologer if you need help. Go to me if you need help. But it'll depend on like what your specific path is and like what your natural energy is. So there's going to be a little bit of intuition, and there's going to be a little bit of understanding who you are. But you also have to think of what you're trying to manifest. There's just so many factors, but I feel like this one is the one that is skipped out on the most, because people constantly are talking about how the material things are not important. You know, it's just how they make you feel. And it's like, yeah, but hear me out for a second. The physical world is a reflection of your inner world, correct? So then of course the material world matters, right? Like, if they're reflections of each other, there is no beginning or end to one or the other. It is the chicken and the egg scenario of like, oh, well, so then does my internal world make the external world, or does the external world make my internal world? And the answer is neither and both. You're having to do the spiritual work to believe that you are worthy of what you're asking for, and to build up the confidence in who you are and clear out the dust and decay of the past and of other people, to be your authentic self again, to remove your mask and to be who you are. So that's where the spiritual stuff comes in. But then physically, it's like, okay, now you're who you are. Who is that? What does that person do? What do they look like? How do they dress? What do they eat? What do they love? What do they work on? Where does their energy go? And that's where the physical world comes in, because you can't, first you would align with who you are. But I don't know about you, but sometimes for me, I find out who I am through physical stimulus. So I will try to figure out who I am through music, or I will try to figure out who I am through activities I love to do. Those are physical world things. Those are things of the 3D realm. So it is important. It is not to be taken lightly. These are all part of intentional living. And like I think I mentioned, but I do want to do more videos on how I live intentionally, like show you step by step with how I eat and what I buy and the choices I make and all that, and basically just the lifestyle of somebody who lives intentionally. And because I think that the physical world can be just as magical as the spiritual world and can bring so much joy and delight to people. And I think because a lot of us have lived with lack, we are afraid to ask for abundance. And so we stick to, okay, I'm gonna go to spiritual minimalism because then they can't tell me no when I ask for the specific physical thing I want. And it can be scary to ask for physical manifestations. It can be a really spiritually trying thing to ask for the world, the physical 3D world, to provide for you, not just your guides, not just your emotions, not just your crown and third eye, but your root chakra and your sacral chakra of creating things, making things, crafting things, coming up with things, innovating things. Although I guess innovation's a little bit more your third eye, but making them a reality. And if that is out of balance, then even if you're trying to go through all this spiritual cleansing and spiritual healing, you're not going to be able to see the physical effects of it because you're not doing the physical work that is also involved. So just make sure that you are balancing these two. It's not to say one is better than the other. It's just to say that they are both equivalent and important. We are living a human experience in a physical realm because Spirit wants this for us. And to me, I feel like our physical bodies in the physical realm leave a stronger imprint on our souls than we give credit to. They say your body is your temple for a reason. So it's not just your physical body, it's also your physical world, the things that contain your body as well. And your body contains your soul. So just look to those physical parts, make sure that they are in alignment with what you are trying to bring in. And if they're not, try to fix that. Try to work on those. And remember that hard work does not have to be suffering. Hard work can just be just that. It's just that it takes a lot of diligence and a lot of persistence and perseverance, but it doesn't mean you have to suffer or go through this grueling time. It's just more that you have to look back and feel proud of what you've accomplished. So that's all I have to say about that today. I hope this resonated for you guys, and do me a favor and do that journaling exercise I mentioned. I swear that it will help you moving forward. And if you need any extra help, you can always book a session with me. I have the link down in my description box for if you want to know what kind of physical work you are supposed to be doing to help bring your manifestation in. We can talk about how your chart can guide you towards all of that, and also work with your guides to see if they have any extra clues or messages. And I just want to wish you all a wonderful day full of blessings and healing and manifestations.